I was waiting for the second ding. Welcome to Section 31, episode number 289. I am Dan Hammond.
And I am Rogue Schindler.
This week, we were planning on talking about this new Star Wars movie in depth. However, we are going to pass on that since Rogue is a bit under the weather and on the East Coast, so 3 hours ahead of me. We're going to instead go over, we actually had a local event that I attended, of all things. So, you know, I guess snuck one in before the end of the year. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. Yeah, that's about as far as we'll get. Agreed?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. Fair enough. So, Peldor Joy.
How many cans did you bring?
48. Well, look, I did the math, right? The math was, if you're playing in a 4-round event, there are 5 things you can do for 2E. One of them you can do once per mission attempt. So it's like, all right, 4 rounds times 5 is 20, plus maybe you'll do that random selection thing maybe twice a round. On average. So I figured 6 by 4 is 24. Is that right? Yeah. So 24 or so. I don't think that adds up right. 4 rounds, 6. Yeah, 24. So 24 for the 2E. And for tribbles, there are 5 things you can do. One of which it turns out we weren't using a tribbles trouble pile, but that's okay. There were 5 rounds of tribbles, 5 things to do, 25. 25 and 24 is 49. Figure I would be safe at 48. No one else apparently brought that many, or was so inclined to cheat as much as I was. But that's fine. I mean, I was able to do everything all the time, and we only played 3 rounds of 2E, so I had some left over at the end. Either way. Which again, Jesse showed up for tribbles, and since he I wasn't aware that it was a Candor event, I was able to everyone gave him a bunch of stuff so he could spend just like everyone else.
Nice.
But 2E, there were 5 of us. Thomas V didn't make it. We were surprised. Hope everything's all right with him. But it was me and Charlie and Matt and Johnny and JD. Me and Charlie, Matt, Johnny, JD. Yeah, 5 of us. I didn't get a chance to play JD, unfortunately. But I also didn't get the bye, so that was great. First round bye went to Johnny. A second round bye, I think, went to. I think the third round bye was Matt. Maybe the second round was Charlie. Maybe it was JD. Hey, it wasn't me. For my first round, I played against. Must have been Charlie. Yeah, Charlie was playing with the deck that Matt had made for him. Charlie was playing a Romulan Sunkatse deck. So he had a bunch of Romulans and a bunch of deck manipulation so that he would get his good guys on the bottom of his deck, and I would have random on the bottom of my deck. Often, yeah, I just always had bad cards on the bottom of my deck, usually events and things that he would roll off the top with getting under your skin, so that when we fought, he would always win. Because I would have not a personnel. But if somehow I did have a personnel and he won, he would lose 5 points and steal that personnel with this other Sunkatse interrupt. And then he was using Perfect Tool because he had a bunch of Romulans, right, and a bunch of my stolen personnel. So he was going to, 9, 10 counters every turn. There was just a lot of cards moving around. I was surprised that he wasn't using the new Romulan trick stuff, where you download a ship and make them all hard, make my mission attempt a lot harder. But I was using a lot of new stuff. So we had talked previously about what I would play if I was going to play, and I put it together. I built from scratch, which is something I have not done in a while, a draw deck that was Captain's Log. So and the Defiant, the Stop You If You Come Here Defiant, the patrolling warship. Yeah, it's got to be my favorite. So I had all 8 or so of it used to be 7, and then Nog came out, so there was 8. He's like the 8th one, plus Martia, who can gain a keyword, and Khan, Bold Man, who's matching commander of every ship. So I got 10 people. So I'm not hosed for people anymore. I don't have to wait for that magical 8 or 9. And I was using taking command. The event from the new set that lets all the admirals and generals also be matching commanders of your ship.
Yeah, pulling rank.
Pulling rank. There you go. Yeah, I've had enough. That's enough taking command of this vessel. So that was great. So usually, my first attempt, I would go out with, 7, 8, 9 people, and they were all matching commanders, and that was great because I solved my space missions all the time. I think, spoiler alert, last round I only got one of the two, but first round I think I did my 2 space missions in the first turn or the second turn. It was one turn solve, second turn solve. Same in the next round, one turn solve, second turn solve. It's really tough when none of my personnel are able to be randomly selected. That was really great. And just like the deck always does, it does the space missions really well, and then it tries to go to ground, and it just kind of runs into the brick wall of, wow, my people are not so great anymore when you can select them because all the tricks are gone.
Yeah.
The deck that I was playing, and it'll be linked as soon as the tournament results are up, it had a lot of events, probably more events than it needed, because there was just so many things I wanted to try, maybe. There's a new, I got the deck right here. I can just, instead of trying to remember what all the cards were, I can probably just read some of them. There is a new event from the new set that says if you only have one ship, it takes an extra damage marker to be destroyed. Yes. So that's perfect. I'm only rolling one ship. I'm only ever running one ship. So I ran with a couple of those, and it costs 0. And, it's not free to throw down. I threw in a couple defensive upgrades. That's the DS9, the old Command 6 DS9. When someone's trying to destroy your event, they got to blow up this one first, which is great because Captain's Log costs 4, and it is not fun to have blown up, especially when you have just spent 4.
No.
Yeah. But pulling rank, we talked about relief efforts. So this is another one that I thought would work very well because the planet mission is hard, right? But it's late game. I'm going to have a lot of people. If somebody dies, you can beam someone down from the ship with 4 more staffing icons, which I had, and they can do a mission attempt. This never worked at all because no one ever died. Everyone was removed from the game or something else, but no one was ever dying. And it was disappointing. I thought it would be great, and it never actually worked. Emergency evacuation. This is another, if you're playing with just one ship, you can take personnel off your ship and put them on here as an order, and then you can put personnel back. So this is great if you've got too many personnel. I think this would be much better if you're in like the Voyager deck when you don't have a second ship. You can move people off so you're not attempting with 12 or 13 or something.
Sure.
Did not actually ever take into effect. I was planning on comboing this, though. If someone played something on my ship that I didn't like, I was going to beam everyone off to the emergency evacuation and then play extreme measures and blow up the Defiant and then play another one.
Wow.
Yeah, that was my plan. And I never had to do it because no one ever played anything on my ship. So, whatever. I had an inspiring leader. I think in the second version of this deck, I'll take it out. The Defiant only has range of 8, but you're leaving from DS9 to go to a 3-span space mission. So you can always go there and back again. Plus the Maquis Riker matching commander adds 2 to the range anyway. So now you're up to range of 10, and now you don't know what to do with all the extra range. So I didn't need that. That was a kind of a bust. Like I said, resilience. That was the extra damage marker. That was fun. Running a tight ship, of course, because you've got matching commanders. I did have 3. How would you like a trip to Romulus? And halfway through making the deck, I thought, oh yeah, that's another good reason to play this deck. One of the Peljor Joy donate a can rules was pretty much as additional. How would you like a trip to Romulus? So opening hand, play a matching commander. Spend a can, go download the ship, and then play Captain on the Bridge, and everyone's reporting cheaply, right? That worked really well, a lot. The other all-star in the deck was Miles O'Brien, Repair Chief, the DS9 guy from Necessary Evil. When your event's about to be destroyed by an opponent, discard an event from hand to prevent that. That was very good against
very nice.
Yeah, Johnny was blowing up a lot of events, and the first turn I dropped the Captain's Log because a lot of these personnel are expensive, and so spending exactly 7 counters and ending up with not too many cards in your hand was a challenge. So my first turn I played like a 3-cost guy, and then Captain's Log, and on his turn he blew it up. And I'm looking at Miles in my hand. I'm thinking, why didn't I play you first? I could have just canceled that, and no, that's all right. Later on, Miles came out and he dropped a attacking into the wind at full cost, attacking in the wind to blow up my event. And I said, okay, I'll cancel that. And he stopped and reread all the cards and was like, yeah, okay, that works. That's pretty good. So that was nice. Kira was great. The Defiant Leader, she bounces to your hand to cancel an interrupt. I did that a few times.
Yeah.
And I think the last fun, I had Martia copy Jedzia as host late game so that I could use the Rite of Emergence on her, and I never had an opportunity to play the Rite of Emergence the whole game. So downsides of this deck are it is way too big. I wasn't even running with 3 copies of all the personnel. I only had like 2 of all the matching captains. It was just too many events, optimisms, and even mission accomplished. I was worried about not having 110 points, so I threw in a mission accomplished. It turns out I didn't need to worry about that. Last card of the new set is Miracle Working. I don't know if I like it or not. Miracle Working is the 1 cost, draw 4 cards, and then put 3 cards onto your deck. You can only do it if you have a 4 staff ship.
Right.
But then you can play it again from your discard pile at cost +1 to do it again, and then put it out of play. So for 3 counters, you get to draw 8 cards and then put 6 cards onto your deck.
Well, if you're running a lot of duplicates, I can see that being useful. But it sounds like you weren't running as many as you might otherwise with this deck.
Yeah, I think I used it once or twice, but really the first time you're getting you're drawing 4, and then you're putting 3 under for 1 counter. So it's like your net is not very much, and then the next time you do it, you got to pay 2 for that effect. So, if you've got something like Optimism out, I would rather just draw a bunch of cards than put them under anyway. I don't know. My first 2 games, like I said, I did well. I against Charlie, I solved 2 space missions, and I was working on the planet when time ran out, and I had more points. In the second round, I played against Matt. And once again realized why I don't know what it is against Matt's Ferengi deck, but this time it was Dabo and the gambler guy who puts the gambler who makes your alien gambling device cost -1, and then the Ferengi card that puts it on the bottom of your deck to give you whatever 20 extra counters.
Yes.
The next time I see that, I'm just going to get up and walk away because I don't care enough anymore. It just, it is the absolute most painful thing to sit across and play against. I won the game, but I still hated that round more than anything. And even having 6 Dabo girls to play Dabo, and me shuffling my deck and putting the top card out, no, okay, it's not a 3. Okay, it's not a 3. See, that's fun. That's entertaining. Watching your opponent play 16 counters, and now they're going to 25, and now they're going to 31, or whatever. That is the most boring, ridiculous thing I've ever seen. And like I said, next time it happens, I'm just going to pack up my cards because it's no fun. Congratulations. You win by default. I don't care. So after that horrible, painful waste of an hour, I got to play against Johnny, who was also undefeated. So whoever won got to won the tournament. And this really fat deck shuffled all the personnel to the bottom, and I got event after event after event, and I even got a few of these Miracle Working to burn through. And by the end of the game, I think I had 6 people out, and I was still digging and digging and digging, and it was unfun. I was able to solve one of my 2 space missions. Once again, I think the combo he threw at me with I only had 6 people, so he just had to stop 1, maybe 2. It was he's caught in the transporter, and if you don't stop a transporter personnel, and then it plays to your core, and then you can't get persistence. Yeah, jury rigged. Yeah. So I had no transporter skill, so that didn't stop anybody. And the next one was you need exobiology or biology, maybe. Exo and Anthro. Yeah, it was a Dark Page, I think. And I had no Exo or Anthropology to stop, and so I would randomly select someone to be killed, and my personnel can't be randomly selected, so that whiffed too.
Nice.
I felt kind of bad about that because that was hilarious. So I saw the mission. Unfortunately, that was about it. I don't think I got any more points after that. Johnny was playing an Equinox deck, which was really cool, really fast. It used the new. So going into the last turn, I should have spent another can to draw 3 and spend 3 on dilemmas. But I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm looking at he's almost got 4 missions solved, but I don't see the event. He doesn't have the event out yet, or whatever. So I'm thinking, all right, well, I've got at least another turn, and I think I can do something here. And so it's okay. Well, I solved it. Shook my hand. I was like, okay. Did you play the event? I just didn't see it. I must not have seen it because I didn't have anything to cancel it with or anything. I just thought I'd get another turn. He said, no, there's this new mission, and I turn around and look at it. Oh yeah, you don't actually have to do anything. It's the same text as the event. It's just on the mission, which is great for that solves a problem that the deck had. Which that's what you get when you play once every 3 months, right? So all right, that's fine. I don't think I would have won anyway. I think I would have maybe got an extra turn, but I probably that was probably the end. It's tough to end the day on a downer like that, but you know what?
Yeah,
it was still a great day. The that Kira was awesome against that deck in particular because he was playing the new and improved. All of your who needs Chakotay to unstop people. All of your Voyager people are unstopped, and it's an interrupt, and you just play it.
Yep.
So, but Kira bounced twice to cancel it. He snuck a third one through, but between that and no, that played well. I stole a dilemma pile from another player, which worked out really well. I had a good time with it. It was a persistent pile.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it didn't really do much in the way of persistence, but I did pull back dilemmas against Johnny since he was playing all space. I pulled up my space persistent dilemma so I could play him again. I thought that was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, the dilemma, the new dilemma, the newish dilemma that I was running, and that Matt hit me with just repeatedly. He put a lot of people out of play. This one from Frozen by Fear. For each persistent dilemma beneath his mission, it's cost -1, so that's great. It goes down from 5. And then unless you have this bucket load of skills or this other bucket load of skills, randomly select 2 personnel to be removed from the game. So
wow,
that's amazing. 2 honor, law, medical, or officer science, and 2 treachery. I very seldomly actually had, well, there's no medical matching commander, so that was right out. And I could sometimes have science and treachery, but unlikely. So that worked really well. Matt hit me with that pretty hard. That was fun to use. And Abrasive Allies. That was fantastic in the DS9 deck. Abrasive Allies says, unless you command personnel with more different affiliations than the owner of the dilemma, your opponent chooses a personnel to be stopped. I was planet only, but I was choosing personnel to be stopped all the time because I had a Dominion guy, and I had a Federation guy, and a non-aligned, and a Bajoran, and sometimes I had a Klingon because Martok is a general who reports to DS9. So that was cool. But yeah, even against the Tarek Nor player, or the other DS9 player, Matt, he had Bajorans and Federation and non-aligned. No, Bajoran and Ferengi and non-aligned, and I managed to always have one more than him. So that was pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was fun. Yeah. So a lot of fun to use the new cards. The deck did about as I expected. I went 2-1. I can't argue with that. And I think it came in maybe second-ish. I finally pulled up the name. Damon Watt. Damon Watt built the dilemma pile that I stole from him, and I referenced it on my deck list. So I will thank you for that. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, we donated a lot of cans. There were a lot of cans on the table at the end. Charlie took some pictures, but apparently Charlie's working about 14-hour days right now, so I'm expecting the tournament results to go up after the holiday's over, and maybe some pictures into the feed. Yeah, big pile of cans and stuff. Everyone seemed to have a great time. Johnny departed, and Jesse showed up for tribbles, so we had another round, and I had 2 decks with me. I've got my fun a rescue deck that I usually loan to Jesse. That does pretty well, and I haven't won a triples for a while, so I thought, this is just a good deck. I should play this again. And then I reread the things that you can do with the triple donation, and one of them is recycle a player. So I left that one in the box and played my just random rainbow. And the random rainbow was doing really well up until the last round. I think I was in second place, and then I went out with no points, and Charlie, who was in the lead, had a beige in my pile, so he got more points than I did, which was unfortunate.
That's rough.
But going to the last round, I think I was only down by 100,000. But it was, one of those 500,000, 400,000, 300,000, and then a couple 200,000s. It was like anybody's game. And then someone went out, but it wasn't Charlie. I don't know if it was. Damn, I'm going by memory. I think I ended up in second-ish place. I might have ended up in second place in both tournaments. I'm not sure. But donating a can to copy a power instead of using the power you have is fantastic. Donating a can to selectively mulligan your hand. So, it's my turn. It's 100 to me. I don't have 100, but I've got these 3 10,000s. I'll donate a can and shuffle the 3 10,000s in and draw 3 cards and hope maybe I get a 10. That was great.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we did end up with one death round. I think everyone must have spent all their cans early, and we were just one or 100,000, 100,000. One have been clone. But we weren't using a trouble pile, and it was a generally low-scoring game. I didn't think I saw Fizbin the whole day. I think most of the decks were JDs actually, and it was a great less than an hour. We managed to finish within time, and we made another big pile of cans and stuff, and cans and pasta and all kinds of things on the table. So at the very end, we took another picture with the big mountain of things.
Which was very impressive. I saw that on Facebook.
Excellent. And we actually wrapped up, not really late. It was like 9 o'clock, which was pretty early for a double tournament day.
Yeah, nice.
We made plans for the Phoenix tournament,
that was my next question.
Yes,
that's coming up.
So that's what we we took a little break between the second edition and the triple so that we can have a chat with Johnny there. In now less than 2 weeks, we will have the Phoenix tournament back at Arby's on the second day of the year. It'll be another all-day affair. There was some talk about having a 2E infinite diversity draft, a quick little 3-round in the morning.
Huh.
Because Matt really wanted a second edition event, and that would be something we can do quick with minimal preparation.
Sure.
So we start at 10 o'clock. They open at 9. We can start at 10, play for 3.5, 4 hours. And then start the first edition. First edition draft with starter decks. So we're gonna take starter decks from crossover, and we're gonna draft mirror booster packs with potentially virtual crossover booster packs without any of the engine cards.
Okay, so this is more or less what we discussed.
Yes.
After the last mirror draft. All right,
yep.
Cool.
Yeah, sounds fun. So bring probably one of each starter, and then decide what you're going to play after you open your first pack, right? See if you get a good Terran Empire or a good Cardassian Alliance card, and then go with that. But it sounds fun. We'll do that for a bunch of rounds, and then we'll have triples at the end. So we will potentially be playing all 3 games. There's some talk about skipping the 2E if there's not enough interest. It sounded like Johnny was probably only going to be able to make it for 2 events, and he would probably skip that. And I don't know if Thomas is not coming to 2E or if he was just out this week, but there was some talk about him not coming either. So if we can get enough people, we'll probably have a quick infinite diversity in the morning, and then a long mirror universe 1E event, and then triples. We were toying with the idea of trying to figure out how to draft triples so we could have 3 drafts on the same day, but that might be a bit much.
Yeah, we're bad enough trying to have 2 drafts on the same day. We're barely going to have time for triples.
Agreed. Yes. I did suggest strips. I almost said it again. Slipstream, not stripstream. A slipstream tournament, because that would be quick. But
oh yeah,
that's also another deck you have to make. So we'll probably just
but it's only half a deck.
Yes. Yes. It only has to be happy. This deck would be really good. Or
Yeah, that deck would be amazing.
that deck would be very fast. All right. But anyway, it was a great day. We had great fun, good Trek. We chatted a lot about the movie, about Star Wars, about the Star Trek trailer. Some people really liked it. Some people hated it. Um, I think most people just didn't like it as a trailer. I thought it was the epitome of a movie trailer. It was a bad Star Trek trailer, but it was a great movie trailer. And really, a trailer is not supposed to try to get me to watch the movie. I'm already going to watch the movie. All the people that I heard complaining about it are already going to watch the movie anyway. They really pumped the directed by Fast and Furious guy, and that the people if they're going for that audience, great. We'll get how much money did that movie make? A ton of people go out to see that movie, and if that's what they're targeting, just to bring them in for a Star Trek movie, fantastic, great.
And going by your theory, that makes sense. But given the blowback that happened after the last one, I don't know that you can automatically assume that the people that you are your target audience are necessarily a lock for coming to see this movie. A lot of people were very upset after Into Darkness.
I would agree with that, and yet it doesn't matter. Those people will still go see the movie because that's what a Star Trek fan is. I mean,
okay.
Right. Time's up.
Yep.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Well, we can debate this, and we'll talk about that other movie that came out last week. Probably next week. Are we going to be able to record right after the holiday?
I will if you will.
All right. Sounds like a plan. I will be here. So until then. Oh.
All right.
Did we talk about the new Warp 11 CD?
No.
All right. Then let's talk about that. Star Wars. So we got Star Wars and Star Trek next week.
All right. In the meantime, I'm Sir Rogue.
And I'm Sir Dan.
And I will remind you all to expand your power in the universe.
And I will not allow you to select any of my captains to end.